live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. Happy Friday. It is April 12th.
Thanks for being with us this morning, and thanks for not scaring me away yesterday.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're back this morning.
Glad I can come.
It's weird doing this alone. 55 degrees outside right now, so a bit on the cool side again today.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and
Yes.
it should be a nice weekend to go out. So let's check in with Mike for weather.
Yeah, but the one thing we are going to start to see a bit more humidity start to work its way back into the picture. Tomorrow won't be overly humid. Sunday looking that way as well. But yeah, first of all, it's one of those days where you need a jacket, and then it's going to be t-shirts and shorts later on today. 54 degrees, dew point still very low down there, right around 46, and we hardly have any breeze. Obviously, those clear skies, so we will continue to drop down a few more degrees this morning, and then another just gorgeous day. Normal high temperature is 80, so we're right in that ballpark again. 82 degrees. It is going to be on the breezy side today, and that's causing some concern, especially out to the west. More on that in just a second. The aquifer continued to go up from the rain that we had a few days ago, up 1/10 of a foot. We'll take anything we can get. And Oak did come down, still on the high side, but came down from the previous day's reading. Mold is moderate, and Pecan is on the low side. Take a look at some of the temperatures around the area right now. Mid-40s in the hill country. 48 right now, Bulverde, 45 at Bernie, and 55 at Stinson. And again, everybody still has this nice dry air, no wind. Hardly any breeze picking up anywhere at all. That is going to change, though. Wind is definitely going to start to pick up later on this morning and this afternoon especially, and then red flag warnings go into effect for our western counties. A little bit unusual from noon all the way up until 10 o'clock tonight, so it's still going to be windy in the overnight hours. So that's something that we will have to keep in mind. And this is going to be windy again tomorrow. So fantastic again today, breezy. Humidity starts to increase tomorrow. A few more clouds hanging around here, and again, excuse me, not windy. That's why you check your homework, kids. I do that on purpose every once in a while just to make sure people are watching. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, Sunday through Wednesday, very warm and humid, and our first little glimpse. Wow, I'm doing good on a Friday. At Thursday through the weekend, a couple of showers are possible. Now, we're still a week away from that. Also, what's really going to be interesting is, will it actually be cooler going into the first weekend of Fiesta? There is a front which wants to kind of move it into the area. We'll talk more about that coming up. But yeah, late next week could be interesting. But until then, that's what we're going to be dealing with through the weekend, first half of next week. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, please tell me that you can use proper grammar and spelling and pronunciations.
I'm going to try, Mike, and I like whimsy, though. You may be starting a new weather trend here. Yeah, whimsy. I like that. I like that phrase. All right, guys, things looking pretty good out there in terms of traffic right now. If you're about to step outside for your Friday morning, hopefully you guys are doing well and are ready for a good weekend ahead. Loop 410 New Braunfels Avenue traffic moving pretty good both directions there. Let's see, we get one more. Loop 410 at Babcock, same situation there as well. As far as overnight incidents, everything has been pretty much, for the most part, pretty quiet out there. We did have a vehicle fire that is now being reported as a grass fire out there, 37 southbound at Southeast Military Drive for all of our folks on the southeast part of town, but not causing too many major delays at the moment. The west side of town right now, we still have some ongoing construction, 90 eastbound at 36th Street, but same situation here as well for all of our folks on the west side at 151 there, not causing too many delays at the moment. So again, good news for our folks out there. Rest of the city, everything else is moving along pretty well, but do want to let you know that we have some major construction coming out this weekend. That is something that we will continue to talk about throughout the rest of our hour here and throughout the rest of Good Morning San Antonio. But again, if you're about to step outside, things looking pretty good out there at 35 at New Braunfels. Mark and Erica, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, this morning, San Antonio police are still looking for the latest suspect in what's becoming a growing problem in our city, road rage shootings. Around 10 Wednesday night, officers say a driver opened fire at an SUV on Loop 410 near Broadway, near the airport. That SUV was carrying a family, including a little boy who was hit by a bullet. The 10-year-old was grazed in the leg. He'll now have a scar for the rest of his life. That little boy's dad is talking about what happened.
Looked like my son was gripping his legs in fear so much he cut himself until the slug bullet fell out of his shorts. My 3 kids terrified for an unprovoked. I did nothing to this man, this coward. I did nothing to him. And he opened fire on a 10, an 8, and a 6-year-old, and he hit a 10-year-old. And there was blood, but we have to find this coward.
Now, if you know anything about this road rage incident that can lead to the shooter, please call SAPD.
A San Antonio man could spend the rest of his life in prison after admitting to supplying fentanyl-laced drugs that caused 4 overdoses and 3 deaths this year. He'll be sentenced this summer. U.S. Justice Department says 67-year-old Mark Stuhl pleaded guilty to charges of distribution of a controlled substance and distribution resulting in serious bodily injury. The DOJ says Stuhl gave 4 people substances that contained a combination of meth and fentanyl and meth and heroin. 3 people died. The 4th person overdosed but survived. Stuhl could receive anywhere from 2 years to life in prison, rather 20 years to life in prison.
This morning, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it has found no link between COVID vaccines and cardiac deaths among young people. In the study done between June 2021 and December of 2022, nearly 1,300 death certificates from people 16 to 30 years old were reviewed out of 101 death certificates, where a cardiac event wasn't ruled out as a cause of death. 40 people received a COVID vaccine. 3 of those people died within 100 days of vaccination. However, none of the death certificates listed vaccination as immediate or contributing cause of death. The study was in response to claims that young people experienced inflammation of the heart muscle after receiving the COVID vaccine.
The DeSoto Police Department south of Dallas says Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice turned himself in last night. He's accused of being involved in a 6-car chain reaction crash last month and fleeing the scene. He posted a $40,000 bond not long afterwards. The 23-year-old surrender comes after police issued an arrest warrant for him. No one was killed in the crash, but 4 people were treated for injuries. Rice faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault and collision involving injury. Congress is set to take up a bill related to our national security today.
As Christian Cordero reports, some lawmakers argue it gives the government too much power over Americans.
Today, a bill that helps the government fight against terrorism is set to make its way through Congress. Without it, FBI Director Christopher Wray warns American lives will be at risk.
If we're blinded from seeing what our adversaries are doing, who they're working with, I can tell you that's going to most definitely have consequences for our ability to protect the American people.
The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, allows our intelligence agencies to collect data on foreign nationals without a warrant. It sometimes collects data on Americans who interact with persons of interest, fueled by sharp criticism from former President Donald Trump, who urged Congress kill FISA. Hardline House Republicans opposed its reauthorization. Now, after late-night negotiations, they agreed to move forward with a shorter reauthorization.
The 2-year instead of 5 length of time, sunset is the major change.
Wray particularly vouched for the part of FISA that can collect data on Americans. This week, an 18-year-old Idaho man was arrested and charged after allegedly planning an ISIS-K-inspired attack here in the U.S.
It is crucial to identifying terrorists in the homeland, working with or inspired by a rogues gallery of foreign terrorist organizations who have publicly called for attacks against our country.
A possible reform to the bill would require a warrant before accessing data from Americans. That has mixed reviews from both Republicans and Democrats. A vote is expected today in the House, and the clock is ticking. FISA officially expires 1 week from today. Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Everybody is getting ready for Fiesta, and that includes TxDOT. They're reminding everyone to drink responsibly and have a sober ride. TxDOT has officially kicked off its 2024 Fiesta Drive Sober No Regrets campaign. During Fiesta, SAPD says it will have more patrols downtown to help identify drunk drivers.
Have somebody that's going to get the group safely home. We totally support people having fun during Fiesta. Fiesta is a great fun event for all of our city, decades and decades old, and we want to continue to support that.
Now, if you do plan on attending Fiesta and drinking, always plan ahead. Of course, there's always a ride share like Uber or Lyft, or you can always use Via to get you home as safe as possible.
KSAT medal days are back. To kick off the return of Fiesta, you can grab a free KSAT medal at various locations across the San Antonio area. We have a brand new location for you to visit this morning. We'll reveal that location coming up at 6:42 this morning on Good Morning San Antonio, so stick around for that. And fun fact, KSAT actually has 5 different kinds of medals for you to collect, including one for Texas Eats SA Live, and more. Check out this story on KSAT.com for more details on which ones and the dates where you can get yours for free.
Happening today, our KSAT community partners are hosting a phone bank for a nonprofit that provides medical equipment to people who need it. Project Mend helps people who don't have the money or are unemployed, don't have insurance, or have gaps in their medical coverage. If you donate, you help people who can't afford to buy things like scooters or wheelchairs get them. During the phone bank, you can also ask about the Viva Mobility Resource Fair that's happening Sunday, April 14th at Morgan Sports Complex. Again, the phone bank is happening from noon until 7 p.m.
Friday morning, 5:10 at 55 degrees.
Just ahead, why Apple is now allowing used Apple parts in iPhone repairs.
Outside with live cam, see how things are looking out there right now. Beautiful shot looking back towards downtown San Antonio. It's going to be a great weekend. We'll get your forecast coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Apple is making it easier to repair your iPhone. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple expands its self-repair program. Consumers and repair shops will soon be able to use genuine used Apple parts to fix devices rather than having to order brand new components. It will reportedly start in the fall with iPhone 15 and newer models. Instagram is testing a new tool aimed at protecting minors from sextortion. That's when someone blackmails a user after getting them to send explicit photos of themselves. The feature is designed to automatically blur all images with nudity sent in direct messages. And Uber is rearranging all of its safety tools, putting them all in one place for easier access. Passengers can choose when and if those safety tools should be automatically activated. This feature will be especially helpful to women traveling alone late at night. So finally, Uber going the extra mile with something extra to chauffeur it. Chauffeur. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It is now 5:15 and 54 degrees.
We're scanning the cameras around the metro area right now. There's 410 at Jackson Keller. Slow start for the morning commute right now. Some folks are on the road or headed home from the overnight shift. RJ is standing by with a traffic update.
Running can be such an individual sport. I thought, why not share this experience? I train with this chair every day. I pushed rider athletes in over 70 marathons. Seeing their excitement, they're the ones that push me. My marathon is for Special Olympics and helping athletes like Yusuf realize their dream of crossing the finish line.
With Flonase, allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily gives you long-lasting, non-drowsy relief. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good. Also, try our allergy, headache, and nighttime pills. Nature's Bounty Hair Growth. Help grow thicker, fuller hair with just one capsule a day of Advanced Hair Complex. Conquer hair thinning.
And fall in love with your hair all over again.
Only from Nature's Bounty.
Welcome back, 5:18 on a Friday morning.
It was some interesting discussion.
Nothing
bad.
Don't point at me. You were.
I didn't do anything.
Hi.
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 Hey guys.
Hi.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hi to everyone out there, and happy Friday morning to everyone out there as we take a quick look, TransGuide. And as we saw right before the break, yeah, things definitely slow going out there for your Friday morning. About to step out, right side. If you're about to step outside right now, it might be a good time. Pick up some coffee, maybe some breakfast. Definitely get you going on your weekend. A couple of smaller things to let you know about. We do have a vehicle fire being reported on the west side of town. This is going to be 410 off of 410 at Culebra Road and Oak Hill Drive. So being reported by the San Antonio Fire Department. And we do have ongoing construction here taking place on the eastbound lanes of US 90 at 36th Street, but not causing too many delays at the moment right now. All right, construction this weekend. So we've had a little bit of a break due to a lot of different things, the eclipse, things of that nature, but we have got some major closures taking place this weekend along the north side and northwest side. So biggest thing, again, we're going to see the major shutdown here, 1604 I-10. That will be shut down the entire weekend starting tonight through Monday morning, weather permitting, and we do expect this to go on throughout the entire weekend, the full duration here. So if you're coming up I-10 will basically be closed from UTSA Boulevard all the way up to La Cantera Parkway. You're going to be able to take the access roads on the east and westbound lanes of 10. Now 1604 will be shut down all the way from Vance Jackson to La Cantera Parkway on the 1604 side of things. Again, you're going to have to go all the way up to the rim, come swing back around, and then get back onto La Cantera on the opposite end if that's the way that you're going to head out on 1604. So they are starting the second ramp there as part of that huge expansion project there, the 1604 expansion. And then we also have this closure taking place here. This is going to be just the westbound lanes of 1604, same time frame, Friday 9 p.m. tonight to Monday 5 a.m. And this is basically going to be from the Blanco exit ramp all the way to the Bitters Road entrance ramp. And these, again, the westbound lanes are going to be shut down throughout the entire weekend, as well as crews work on some paving options or some pavement options out there in that part of town. So it's going to be very busy out there for all of our drivers on the north side, northwest side. Yeah, it's just not going to be a good time out there, Mike, but hopefully we could get some good weather out there for all of our folks.
Not bad. I mean, it's going to be good construction weather this weekend. And it's interesting because if you were driving past any of the access roads in the interchange right in there, you saw those giant beams just kind of waiting there to be put up. And it's so amazing when you see them on the ground, just how massive those things are. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. So, all right, switching gears. Beautiful picture. Butterflies abound in my yard. Sarah Costa, the message is going out to her. What kind of butterfly is this? Erica, do you want to text Sarah with a picture this early in the morning? Probably not, but
it looks like a monarch. Is it not a monarch?
I don't know. I guess that's why she asked Sarah. So if you want to be the one to wake
I'm not going to wake her.
So, anyway. Is she?
Yes.
You still got a number. Anyway, beautiful view outside right now and a great shot of the skyline. We still have the very low humidity out there, and that's going to remain the case throughout the day. However, with the very low humidity, especially out to the west and the windy conditions, that's what's prompting that red flag warning out there. Notice how dew points begin to come up a little bit, even going into this evening. And even though the humidity tries to creep up here in town, going back into, like I said, this evening, it still stays low out there, which is why that red flag warning is in effect up until 10. Now, by tomorrow morning, we have dew points right around 60. You're going to notice the humidity when you wake up in the morning, maybe a little bit of some fog, patchy fog here or there. And it won't be ridiculously like, wet towel kind of humidity throughout the day tomorrow, but you will definitely notice it, and that's just going to continue to stick around as we go into the rest of next week. So this morning, though, enjoy this great weather out there and all day long. Plenty of sunshine. Maybe a few high clouds are going to start to work their way in here later on this afternoon. Once again, up into the low 80s. Now, as far as going into then next week, what's going to be happening? First of all, look at the wind gusts today, 15, 20 miles per hour. Again, this is not even way out in the western hill country, but it's going to be breezy everywhere. And then those winds will settle down a little bit overnight, but pick back up again throughout the day tomorrow, again, prompting that red flag warning in our western counties. Now going into next week, notice how dew points remain well up into the 60s, and that's going to be the situation. There may be a slight little bump downward right there Monday, Tuesday, but don't count on it. What's going to be interesting, though, is what happens after that going into the latter part of next week. Today, 82, 84 tomorrow. Again, more humidity. Notice how the lows stay up in the 60s there because you can't drop down below what the actual dew point temperature is. Maybe a sprinkle late Monday into Tuesday. Stays hot and humid. Wednesday, a real scorcher. Then Thursday is going to be interesting to see what this front decides to do around here. Comes through. It's going to be cooler next weekend. There is a chance for a couple of sprinkles, though, later on Thursday. A whole lot more coming up. Stick around.
According to UT Health San Antonio, 16% of people in San Antonio have diabetes, which is higher than the national rate of 10%.
And did you know that diabetes is linked to cancer? Our Stefania Jimenez tells us about a woman who survived diabetes and breast cancer and her suggestions on staying healthy.
You've heard pictures are worth 1,000 words, but sometimes they're deceiving because this image of Virginia Cortez doesn't tell you what she actually is, a survivor.
I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes December of 2015, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer September of 2019.
It's been a long journey for the 54-year-old. In the last 8 years, she's lost weight, started diabetes medication, and finished cancer treatment. As Virginia continues to recover, she can't help but wonder how she got here.
Had I not had diabetes, could I have prevented the cancer? I don't know.
There's no clear answer for Virginia, but researchers have established a link between diabetes and cancers of the pancreas, liver, colon, and breast. A 2021 study in the medical journal Cancers found as many as 18% of cancer patients have diabetes.
Diabetes is a chronic inflammatory disease that puts your body in override, and that can lead to some genes or some abnormal cells to proliferate and then eventually cause cancer.
Dr. Carolina Solis Herrera is the chief of endocrinology at UT Health San Antonio. She treats patients like Virginia and says the best way to stay healthy is to eat more vegetables, walk often, and get regular checkups.
All those factors together will count all for you to protect you from the complications.
Now that she's in remission, Virginia sees light at the end of the tunnel. She shares her story with you, hoping that you learn from her experience.
It is hard to change, but you'll change when you're ready to change. And I hope it's before you get diabetes.
That was Stephanie Jimenez reporting. All right, Friday morning, 5:28.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, we're getting you ready for the San Antonio Book Festival tomorrow. We'll meet a San Antonio author who calls both Texas and Mexico home.
Good morning to you. It is Friday, the 12th of April.
And we are back, all four of us here this morning.
Good morning, team.
Enjoying another just fantastic day. Kind of whether you just want to bottle and save. But yeah, the lid's off the bottle right now because bottle's going to be emptied after today, put it that way. But yeah, let's just enjoy it because another grab a jacket this morning. It is chilly out there. Notice how crisp and clear the skyline is because we've got this very dry air in place this morning. 54 degrees. Dew point stands at 46. So we're still relatively low humidity around here, and wind, not much of a breeze, so we will drop down maybe another degree or two, perhaps. And mid-40s in the hill country right now. Yeah, really chilly. 55 at Randolph, 52 right now in New Braunfels, and everybody's still has this dry air in place, but this is going to start to change later on today. Still nice, but these numbers will start to go up just a little bit more and then really start to go up in the overnight hours. Oka's on the high side, although it did come down from the previous day's reading. Moderate mold and low pecan. Of course, the updated count comes out a little bit later on with the very dry air. And even though humidity tries to come back in here, it's still going to remain very dry out to the west, even in through tonight, and windy. And so that's why red flag warnings go into effect at noon up until 10 o'clock for our western counties. Very high fire danger out there. 76 at noon, 82 high temperature today. And again, then a couple of more clouds out here later on tonight and then overnight. So a little bit different story this weekend going into next week. Plus, on the 7-day is next Thursday, the first day of Fiesta. We'll take a look ahead to that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ. Whole lot different story than yesterday morning.
Yeah, yesterday was very busy to start our Thursday morning. Good news for our drivers right now. Things looking pretty good if you are about to hit the roads as we check out some of our TransGuide cameras here. Southbound 35 right there in Maine in the downtown area. Same situation here as well. 35 at Alamo. We see that traffic is moving pretty well in both directions there. And also here on the far southeast side, 37 at Loop 410. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about the southeast side right now. We do have a vehicle fire still being reported out there. This is going to be by San Antonio Fire Department on Oak Hill at Culebra Road. So off of 410, not causing any major delays right now, but something that fire officials are responding to at the moment. And then we are starting to see some backups now due to this ongoing construction here for our drivers on the west side of town, 90 eastbound, right there at 36th Street, kind of around the Lackland area. So for all of our folks coming in from Highway 151, chances are you're going to run into some of this lingering construction, but hopefully we could get that cleared out by our 6 o'clock hour. Rest of the city, everything else is looking pretty good for the most part. We still have ongoing construction on the far northeast side of town, but not causing too many delays at the moment. And we still have that grass fire that's being reported there at 37 and Southeast Military, but traffic is still moving along pretty smooth in that area. One more quick look at our TransGuide cameras, 10 at Probant. Traffic moving pretty good there. Same situation, 35 and 410. Mark and Erica, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, extreme punishment at the hands of a parent. The details we're about to tell you in the trial of a woman accused of starving her stepson to death are difficult to hear. The victim's 12-year-old brother took the stand yesterday and described how Miranda Cáceres treated his 4-year-old brother, Benjamin Cervera. He says Cáceres would starve his little brother and sometimes force Cervera to drink hot sauce, toilet water, and hand sanitizer.
She would usually force Benji to open his mouth by by grabbing his mouth and trying to open it. And Reggie will usually cry because it hurts, and then this hand sanitizer tastes bad.
Cervera died in August of 2021, which the medical examiner says was caused by starvation. The 12-year-old says he felt like he couldn't speak up. Cáceres is charged with injury to a child. She faces life in prison if she's convicted.
A new report this morning shows that some American teachers say they are not prepared to deal with an active shooter on campus. 1 in 4 of those teachers say they've experienced a gun-related lockdown in the last year alone. This is according to a new report from the Pew Research Center. As part of a national survey last fall, researchers reached out to more than 2,500 kindergarten through 12th grade teachers. More than half of them said they were at least somewhat worried about the possibility of a shooting ever happening at their school.
3 castaways stranded on a remote island in the Pacific have been rescued after making a help sign out of palm fronds on a beach. The men set out on March 31st on a fishing trip, but large swells damaged their boat and they scrambled to a nearby island. For the next several days, they survived on coconuts and water from a small well on the island. Rescuers covered an area of more than 100,000 square miles, finally spotting their sign on one of the more than 600 islands that make up Micronesia. The Coast Guard finally spotted them on the tiny island 10 days later, about 100 miles from their home island.
Many signs point to a thriving U.S. economy, so experts have been predicting interest rate cuts.
Now, a handful of prominent voices are saying rate hikes might be in the future. CNN's Amy Kiley looks at why and how the uncertainty affects you.
This morning, doctors and pharmacists are sounding the alarm as a nationwide drug shortage hits a record high, with more than 320 medications now in short supply.
This is one of the worst times that we've had as far as we've been tracking, especially with the total number of ongoing and active shortages.
Experts say some patients are having to forego critical medication because hospitals and pharmacies just can't get it. Cancer treatments, diabetes, ADHD, and injectable drugs critical in life-saving operations are just some of the medications in low supply. Marilyn Martin has type 2 diabetes and has had trouble finding her prescriptions.
I started it and everything was going really good. And then all of a sudden I can't get the dose that I'm on.
Kimberly Yard's daughter is taking the stimulant Vyvanse for her ADHD for years, but her insurance company wants her to switch to Adderall, another drug in short supply.
So you want me to potentially not have consistent medication for my daughter? Instead, really? Why?
Experts say there are several reasons as to why. Supply and demand, manufacturing and raw material issues following the pandemic, and lack of incentive for big pharmaceutical companies to produce the generic drugs that have now become so cheap. Data shows 90% of Americans now rely on generic drugs. Experts say there are often alternative medications, but they come with challenges.
It creates a lot of problems inside the hospital, potential for dosing errors, potential for medication errors, and in some cases, patients have to go without therapy or have their care rationed.
So what can be done? The Biden administration is now urging Congress to pass a law rewarding hospitals that buy drugs from a variety of drug manufacturers. And the FTC is investigating drug distributors to look into whether they misused their market power. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
KSAT Medal Days are back to kick off the return of Fiesta. You can grab a free KSAT medal at various locations across the San Antonio area. We have a brand new location for you to visit this morning. We will be doing that reveal to that location coming up at 6:42 this morning on Good Morning San Antonio. So stick around for that. And fun fact, KSAT actually has 5 different kinds of medals for you to collect, including one for Texas Eats, SA Live, and more. Check out the story on KSAT.com for more details on which ones and the dates when you can get yours for free.
And we have big news about Texas Eats. We're going to tell you more about that coming up on Monday. 5:39, 54 degrees.
Stay with us. We'll tell you about this precious little pet that needs a new home.
And outside with live cam, 54 degrees out there. San Antonio is waking up on a Friday morning and watching GMSA.
Well, Kim is here from the San Antonio Humane Society, and we're laughing because this dog literally brings us joy. Who is this little girl?
This little girl is Donna. She is a 4-year-old, little bit of a terrier pit bull mix, the sweetest dog. I mean, just loving coming in, just having a conversation, honestly, with everybody.
Remember the cartoon character, and I think it was Precious Pup, and we just go, yeah. That's what this dog does. It is hilarious.
Yes.
It sounds like you recorded somebody snoring and then play it backwards.
No.
So, and everybody's talking about how she does nothing all day long but lay in her cage. So.
Yes, yeah, she's so sweet. So 4 years old, been with us for almost 2 months now, so came in as a stray. She is heartworm positive on treatment and participating BCAs when you adopt her. You can continue treatment there, so at no cost.
Are you gonna talk for us, sweetie? Donna.
Donna? She's like, no, I'm just looking.
You gonna make a liar out of me now?
No,
Anyway,
yes, I am.
What you got going on
So
there?
Fiesta medals. We know it's Fiesta season. Yay!
Do you want a Fiesta medal?
Yes, look at the Fiesta medal.
We're over here. Okay.
So you can get your Fiesta medal at the shelter. You've got your dog and cats, and then also your shirt. So come by, see us. It's also in line. The Fiesta medals are $10, and the shirts are $20. But yeah, come by and see Donna too.
And yes, the cat is holding a chicken on a stick on the Fiesta medal, which I absolutely love. Hi, Donna. Are you gonna say something for us? No? No, are you getting camera shy all of a sudden? All right, well, if you'd like more information about the San Antonio Humane Society, 4804 Fredericksburg Road, 226-7461. Pick up your Fiesta medals and have a conversation with Donna. She's not going to speak with you.
Oh, she was so sweet.
I think you need to go pick her up. All right.
I was scratching her head and kind of got down to her ears, and she did the whole very vocal.
She liked you.
Very sweet personality. I could see it. One day.
One day.
Yep.
It is now 5:44, and it is 53 degrees.
53 degrees. Yes. So I look to my left, and I'm looking at TransSky cameras. I look to my right, and there's RJ, and thumbs up. That's a good sign, but we'll see if anything changes in the next couple of minutes.
5:48 right now. Welcome back to Good Morning San Antonio. Hopefully you guys are getting off to a good Friday here as we get set for the weekend. Now, unfortunately, if you do have some big weekend plans, we're going to tell you about some ongoing construction that may kind of make you think otherwise about some different routes or directions that you need to go. But first of all, current road conditions, Loop 410, Jackson Keller, traffic moving pretty good. Both directions there, same situation there, 410 and New Braunfels Avenue. Want to let you know about the stalled vehicle situation that just popped up here. I-35 southbound at Santa Rosa Street. That's going to be in the downtown area, but you do see that traffic is still moving pretty smoothly through the downtown area, something we will keep our eyes on throughout the rest of the morning here. Construction still taking place here at 90 eastbound at 36th Street, and we saw a little bit of delays earlier all the way up to 151, so I'll double check this. They may start to pick things up here in just a bit, or maybe actually picking things up here just right now. All right, big construction taking place this weekend. Major closures that are going into effect starting tonight at 9 o'clock and going through the entire weekend, weather permitting. And earlier Mike said that weather's going to be pretty good, so we're not going to expect to see any sort of postponements or cancellations with this construction projects. Basically, it's going to be 1604 I-10. That's going to be completely shut down this weekend. The entire interchange, I-10 all the way up from UTSA Boulevard to La Cantera Parkway. You're going to have to exit before you hit UTSA Boulevard just to get up there to the rim area. You're going to be able to take the access road here in both directions, east and westbound I-10. 1604 is going to be a little bit more of a major delay here. Vance Jackson all the way to La Cantera on the 1604 side, so you're going to have to exit before Vance Jackson, swing around the rim in this area and come back all the way around the access road and then get back onto 1604 for all of our drivers headed westbound 1604 there past La Cantera Parkway. So it's a lot of different things going on here. We also have a major closure taking place here on the north side of town. Westbound lane is going to be closed at 1604 from basically Blanco over to Bitters Road. And again, you're going to be able to take the access road there, but not get back on 1604 till after the Bitters entrance there. Again, this closure will be in place throughout the entire weekend, starting tonight, 9 o'clock through Monday, 5 a.m. So again, if you have plans out there, I've even seen, guys, some different things on social media where they're already letting some people that are going to be headed out to that part of town, just giving them a heads up about what's going on there, like some basketball tournaments and things like volleyball tournaments. I remember Stephanie got caught up in some.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been caught up in that mess, and I'm just like, I'll text me, RJ.
Yeah,
it's a mess. But remember, if we can put up with a few more weekends of this, not a few, but they're making huge progress out there.
They really are. Yeah. If you go out there, I mean, it is really impressive what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to start the second flyover ramp there this weekend. That's what they're doing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's trying to weave your way around and find the Google Map route and all that stuff is really tough to do. So, or you can just, go sit in the flowers like this guy's. And this was Pet Day yesterday, of course, and Cooper looking very regal. Like he's posing. So love that picture. Thank you very much for that one. All right. Beautiful view of the skyline. Again, emphasizing the fact that we have very dry air down here at the surface. Yesterday, those gorgeous blue skies, dry air aloft, that darker shade of gray. We're starting to see just a bit more moisture come in upstairs in the atmosphere. Still going to be a gorgeous day, but this is just going to sort of translate into maybe a little bit of a milky shade to the sky, a couple of high wispy clouds out there later on today. Again, that's sort of splitting hairs. It's still going to be a fantastic day. Temperatures are going to warm up quickly this morning. We will make it up to 76 at noon and then up to 82 later on this afternoon. Again, a couple of more clouds, and then clouds will definitely start to kind of fill in a little bit more as we go into this evening. Also, it is going to be windy today. We're going to have gusts 15, 20 miles per hour. This is just in the kind of the close-in area, but especially out to the west, it's going to be very blustery, and that's going to be the situation even into tonight with gusty winds. A lot of times the wind does want to settle down in the evening, but it's still going to be very blustery late tonight, and then the wind's going to pick back up again tomorrow, so it is going to be windy, but these winds coming in here out of the southeast are going to be pulling in all of that humidity. The dry air and the windy conditions out to the west, that's what's prompting the red flag warning in our western counties. Noon up until 10 o'clock tonight. Been a while since we've seen a red flag warning that goes that late into the evening. But again, it's still going to be very windy out there. Here's what's going on. This low, really in this northwesterly flow, this is what we can thank for the gorgeous weather we've had the past couple of days. But this ridge is going to start to take over. We get more of that, as you saw in the water vapor imagery, the moisture coming in upstairs in the atmosphere, a lot more in the way of clouds, and the surface winds coming in out of the southeast. And so there comes the humidity. And this is going to be the situation, really going in through the weekend into the first part of next week. There may be a little bit of a front that wants to try and move through here. Don't get real excited about it, but it could touch off a shower late Monday, early Tuesday morning. And then in behind that, we stay pretty warm and humid. Now, what's going to be interesting is there wants to be a big low developing up there to the north around the Great Lakes area. And the question is this thing going to pull a front through here? There are some computer models that actually have a front that comes in here, and that would be Thursday and cool us down. Some computer models have us pretty cool for this time of year going into next weekend. But then also with that front sort of in the vicinity, that as of right now is going to give us a chance for a couple of showers late in the week. Today, gorgeous. Really not bad tomorrow. Again, breezy the next couple of days. A lot more humidity around here. It's going to be really hot and humid on Wednesday. And then again, first day of Fiesta. Unfortunately, as of right now, there is a small chance for some rain, just a couple of showers here and there, kind of breezy. And I'm going for 80 right now for a high temperature on Thursday, but we'll have to keep tabs on that big front. A whole lot more after this. Stick around.
How would you like to ride in a Fiesta parade? Get your phone handy and scan the QR code on your screen. Then tell us what you love about the Battle of Flowers Parade and enter for a chance to ride on a float and show us your shoes. Battle of Flowers Parade coming up Friday, April 26th. You're watching GMSA. Ahead in our next hour, we're getting you ready for the San Antonio Book Festival. Tomorrow, we'll meet a San Antonio author who calls both Texas and Mexico home. Plus, you'll hear from a woman who survived diabetes and cancer, why those two things are connected, and how you can stay healthy. And up next, a case of online dating turned into a nightmare. The story of two women who are coming forward to say they survived after the accused suspect was caught. And let's check TransGuide as we go to break, waiting for the sun to come up. 410 at Jackson Keller. There's 410 at New Braunfels Avenue. And so far, so good on the roads for your Friday morning commute.